Hi, Kevin from BeeVana Honey. Today we're going to talk a little about feeders on the beehive. When to use them, when not to use them, and what's the best feeder. I've found the best feeder to use is the top feeder. I make the feeder myself. They're very easy to make. They're not difficult. And the bees don't drown. It's a drown-proof feeder. If you have a hive front feeder or a bottom board feeder, that tends to cause a lot of robbing because the feed is actually on the outside of the hive, and it draws other bees from the other hives, and it tends to cause some robbing. So I use the top feeder. Again, they're easy to make. I'll do a video on putting those things together later, and you can watch that and assemble your own feeders. Really quite easy to do. But I leave the feeder on all year, even when I'm not using them, because it's a great source of ventilation for the hive. Let's take a look at this feeder here. You can see the feeder is on the top, separated. Right here's the feeder, goes on the top, and you can see the bees actually inside the feeder. They're up there now because it's a little warm out and they're getting some great ventilation, but you can see the tray is right here. When it's time to feed, you fill this tray up with sugar water, usually in the spring, sometimes in the fall if they don't have a great deal of food available. And they'll come up from the hive through the screen, they'll feed and go back, and they won't drown because they have the screen to rely on to pull them out of the fluid. You can see this dark stuff right here is cinnamon. That keeps the ants out. And you can see I don't have any ants in here at all. I even have some honey, or some wax that I put in here when I scrape off some of the wax. And I leave it in here until I'm ready to empty it out and melt all the wax down. But it's a great place to store it. But I don't have any ants in here. Now, I did have some ants earlier in the year, a little bit. Just sprinkle some cinnamon in there, and it really works well. It discourages the ants from coming in. So there you have it. That's the feeder. It's a great tool to feed the bees. There's no robbing, there's no drowning, and you can leave them on all year long. Very easy and very effective. All right, that'll do it for the feeders. We'll have an episode later on how to build these, and I want to thank you for watching.